Thank you for joining us. My name is Ed Plog, and I am president of Playbill Travel. We have a terrific presentation planned for you. Alaska is one of the most popular vacations we have the pleasure of arranging for our clients. So we invited Deborah Hagee from Princess Cruises to join us and tell us about cruising in Alaska. If you have any questions after the presentation, please call our office at 866-455-6789. So let's get to the presentation. Let's welcome Deborah Hagee from Princess Cruises.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good evening. Hello, good morning. I'm Debbie, and I am from Princess Cruises and Princess Tours. And I would like to walk you through my very favorite destination, Princess Cruises to Alaska for 2022. This is a brief overview of what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about why Princess to Alaska. I'm going to give you a brief overview of the geography of Alaska. I'm going to talk about land and sea vacations. And I'm also going to show you the beautiful princess-owned, princess-run lodges up in Alaska. Princess is number one, and we have been for the last 14 straight years in this wonderful destination, bringing you award-winning land and sea vacations. We put the whole package together for you. If you're doing land and sea, it would be a 7-night cruise, along with a segment of our rail cars and motor coach departures to our lodges. And some of the decision-making starts very early on with Alaska. If you're just in that decision-making process now, one of the things I like to think of is elimination of some of the itineraries. If you've already decided you want to do land and sea, one of the options you would not select is our round-trip Seattle departures. Those are 7 days, but they do not get you to the interior of Alaska. Another option, if you're looking for a longer cruise, but still no land, would be our 10-day round-trip San Francisco itineraries that, again, would not get you up to the interior of Alaska. In order to get to the interior, you would do one-way segments, and that would be Vancouver, which is down in the bottom left-hand corner. And I'm kind of covering up Whittier, which is in the bottom right-hand corner. So those would be flying in or out of Vancouver, or in and out of either Anchorage or Fairbanks if you were doing the land. So if you've decided land and cruise, what we call a cruise tour, you'll often hear me refer to cruise tours, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the land and sea vacations. Now, those would include the 7-night sailing on what we call the Voyage of the Glacier cruise. One segment of your travel would be on our Ultra Dome exclusive Princess rail cars, and then you'd be staying any place from 3 nights, 4 nights, 5 nights, up to 8 nights in the interior at the Princess Lodges. If you're thinking about doing the cruise first, that's what we call a northbound cruise tour. So you'd start with the 7-night cruise from Vancouver up to Anchorage. Then once off the ship, you would enjoy scenic rail, what we call direct to the wilderness rail service. And then you'd spend 3, 4, up to 8 nights on land at the Princess Lodges. But you can also do this in reverse. And that's what we call a southbound cruise tour. That would mean flying, if you're from the Albany area, you would fly from Albany to either Fairbanks or Albany to Anchorage. And the travel advisors at Playbill Travel will work with you on the air, because we do have air packages for you at great negotiated rates. So you would fly from Albany to Fairbanks or Albany Anchorage, as I was saying. You would spend 3 or more nights on the land first. Then we would take you via the train down to the cruise, where you would end in Vancouver. This is a brief overview of the map, and you can see when you do round trip Seattle or round trip San Francisco, this is as far north as you are able to go, right up to Glacier Bay National Park. And then you have to turn around again in order to get back to Seattle or San Francisco. But the one-way itineraries continue on and take you into either College Fjord or Hubbard Glacier. So with Princess, you have 2 glacier viewings in that same 7-day. And then you dock here in Whittier. Whittier is already on the rail service. You can see that little line right here. So it's on the rail service. Other cruise lines are not able to dock in Whittier. They dock down in Seward, Alaska. Well, Seward, you notice we don't even put on the map. Seward is 110 miles away from the train, but on Alaskan roads, that takes 4 hours to get to. So if you were doing cruise first, you'd leave from Vancouver, board the rail here, and then go up to the Princess Lodges. Or land first would be flying into either Fairbanks or Anchorage, depending on which tour, doing the land and then flying back. And here we are. If you've never cruised before, this is how close to land we are when we cruise through the Inside Passage. It is as smooth as glass. All through the Inside Passage, you'll be able to spot whales. In fact, we even have whale spotters up on the bridge deck, and the officer in charge will make announcements when the whales are spotted. The ports of call on the 7-night cruise are Juneau, which is Alaska's capital, Skagway, which is where all the Gold Rush era charm began, and Ketchikan, which is the salmon capital. In Juneau, imagine this is the capital, as I said, and you're not able to drive out of the capital city, the city capital at all. For the folks that live there, that means they have to leave the city by either air or water. You cannot drive out of the state capital. And right outside of Juneau, this is the Mendenhall Glacier, which you'll be offered many, many different optional shore excursions that you will choose in advance. And you will have many different options. There'll be river rafting and flight seeing and just a motor coach out. You can bike. There's all kinds of different tours that you can take here, including fishing as well. Here we are in Skagway, and this town is home to only 800 year-round residents here, all connected by boardwalk. And just a few minutes outside this charming little city is this type of scenery. It's just spectacular, just minutes outside of town. Here we are in Ketchikan, and this is only 5 blocks from where Princess docks the ships. And I need to mention, speaking of that Princess only docks in Alaska. We do not have any of our ships that are out in the harbor and tender in. We've been in Alaska it'll be our 54th year in 2022. And it's just a quick walk to this little area, which is called Creek Street. And Creek Street at one time was the red light district, full of brothels and saloons. And today it's full of coffee shops and gift shops. You can kayak by it, bike by it, or simply take a stroll from the ship. And right across the street, there is a lumberjack show that's really a lot of fun. This is Glacier Bay National Park. Princess does have the permits to get our guests into Glacier Bay National Park. The state of Alaska only allows 2 ships per day into Glacier Bay. And we have the permits on our 100% of our one-way itineraries. Just spectacular scenery. Look at that. Right at the entrance of the park, our ship will slow down ever so slightly, and we will allow 2 park rangers to board in tandem when our ship is sailing. They come right on and they go right up to the pool deck, and they will be talking about what you're seeing as you're seeing it firsthand. They'll be up at the pool deck with a microphone. You can even, if you go down to your stateroom cabin, you would be able to hear them on the appropriate TV channel if you just wanted some privacy on your own deck. This is Hubbard Glacier. Now, remember I said that Princess would offer 2 glacier viewing days on this itinerary, and this would be Glacier Bay with Hubbard Glacier, or you would also have the option of College Fjord, which is home to 16 of the Ivy League glaciers. Princess brings more of Alaska on board. And how do we do that? We've got some great programs on board. Here we are with our puppies in the Piazza area. When we get to Juneau, you would have the capability of stopping downstairs to our hotel atrium, and you would be able to see the pups firsthand, and you would be able to learn how they train for the Iditarod. In Juneau, we also have the first woman that won the Alaskan Iditarod come on board our ship. Her name is Libby Riddles, and Libby does a complete presentation on the Iditarod every time we're in Juneau. Here we are. Remember I said that the ship was right on the rail system in Whittier? Well, I'm going to move my cursor, and I hope you can make out that this is the very top of that Ultra Dome rail car. So there's room for only one ship to dock in Whittier, and the Princess passengers will have this to themselves, because one ship, it's all Princess. So if we had just done the cruise, finished the 7-day cruise, we would be boarding the train. You would be assigned to a rail car, and once all the passengers are boarded and head upstairs, then the train would depart. And you'll notice that there's a mountain range back here, and it does take, it's one-way traffic in and out of Whittier. And we have to wait our turn to go through the tunnel. And then once we go through the tunnel, it does take us like 7 minutes in total darkness to get through that tunnel and continue on to the rail. This is the highlight of everyone's trip. There's outdoor platforms. Everyone has a seat upstairs. If we were traveling from Whittier today up to Denali, to the Denali Princess Wilderness Lodge, that journey would take us approximately 8 to 9 hours that day. There we are leaving Whittier. And the same thing would be true in reverse. If you had flown into either Fairbanks or Anchorage, done the land first, then you would be taken down via the rail right to the train. And one thing I want you to note here is that we know you're coming to the lodges, and we know you're going to the ship. So you don't disembark and get in line at all to check in, whether it's the ship or the hotel. If you're leaving the ship, you would be given and headed to the hotels. You'd be given a welcome packet with your room key. Your luggage is sent automatically to your hotel accommodations, and vice versa. You check in on board the train to the ship, and your luggage is taken right to your cabin. Here's the upstairs to the train. You'll notice we don't have any overhead compartments. So of course, what you take with you that day would be what could fit underneath your seat that day. Downstairs, we've got a beautiful dining car area, because as I said, you're going to be here between 8 to 9 hours, and you may want to take a meal or a light snack. I'm going to show you what the lodges look like, and you're going to see a lot of similarities. This is the Princess Wilderness Lodge at Denali. All of our lodges are situated by riverbanks. All of them have beautiful fireplaces inside. All of them have indoor dining, outdoor dining, multiple places for you to view, hot tubs outside, fire pits outside. Everything's it's just very, very unique. Everyone that stays at our Princess Lodge at Denali, we would also have the natural history tour included into Denali National Park. The natural history tour is approximately 4.5 hours into the park. And the tundra tour is available if you are staying there 2 nights at Denali. You can only do that tour if you're 2 nights at Denali, which I do recommend. It is a longer tour into the park. It's approximately 8 to 9 hours with a box lunch. And I'm going to show you briefly what the park looks like. So here we enter here into the park. The natural history tour will take you down to mile marker 30, and you'll be getting on and off that bus multiple times because there's guides waiting for you there. And if you took the tundra tour, it takes you all the way down to the park to mile 62. And as I said, that's an 8 to 9 hours. Remember too, though, that you are going to have in July, which is peak, 22 hours of daylight there. So the tundra tour really is, it's limited by the Park Service, how many people the Park Services will allow back to mile 62. At the south side of the park, we've got the Mount McKinley Princess Wilderness Lodge. And this lodge is the closest you're going to get to Mount McKinley. This lodge is 41 miles away from the base of the mountain. And a lot of similarities again, the fire pits, multiple places to dine. Here is the Kenai Princess Wilderness Lodge on the Kenai Peninsula. And this lodge is a boutique lodge. It's only 86 rooms. All rooms have built-in wood fireplaces, screened-in porches, and beautiful views. That's the view from the back of the Kenai Peninsula, the Kenai Lodge. Now we're moving to Copper River Princess Wilderness Lodge. And this lodge is at the gates of Wrangell St. Elias National Park, which became a national park in the 1980s. And it's got 9 out of the 16 highest peaks in the United States. In fact, the park rangers have put a visitor center here for our guests. 85 rooms, spectacular views. And look at that view from the back of that deck. If you're going to ask your travel advisor, when's the best time to go to Alaska? Well, number one, it's a short season. It's mid-May through mid-September, and that is it. The temperatures at the end right there are average temperatures, but it's been exceptionally warm up there this month in June. If you're looking for no rain, that would be it'd be mid-May to the end of June. Otherwise, we'll have some light rain, but not bad some of the other days, some of the other months. If you're looking for fall foliage, that would be late August and September. And that's a beautiful time to go because the oranges and golds are reflected in the color in the water through the inside passage. If you're looking to spot whales, no problem. July is peak, but you will be able to spot the whales all season long. If you're looking for the most daylight, that would be June and July when we have 22 to 23 hours of daylight up there, up in Alaska. For those of you that think you can't sleep if it's daylight, no worries, because our cabins have insulated curtains on them, and then we draw the drapes so you won't have any problem. Northern Lights, if you were interested in seeing the Northern Lights, you need less daylight. So September would be the best time to go. And if that's what you're searching, I would also recommend going northbound, which means cruise first, because you'd be losing time every day. You're losing minutes of light every day as you traveled north. If you're looking for wildlife, which you will see every month, obviously right there with the chart, but May and June is the peak when they're the most active. The animals have been hibernating and they're very active. Easier to spot because we haven't had those 22 hours of daylight. So the greenery is not as thick and lush. So making it easier to spot. If you're looking to fish, no problem. Halibut, trout, salmon, all season long. If you're looking for off-peak pricing, that would be May and September. And if you're traveling with families, June, July, and August. Signature Playbill Travel is part of a consortia called Signature Travel. And because of the volume that Signature delivers to Princess each year, Princess has given Signature their very own cruise tour. You will not find this in the brochure, and it's an exclusive value through Playbill Travel. It is, there's 2 tours. I won't, it's 28 North, which is a 4-night land package. It would be 2 nights at Denali, 1 night at McKinley, 1 night Anchorage with the 7-night cruise. And the signature amenities that would, the benefits to you would be the Music of Denali Dinner Theater when you're at Denali, the upgrade to the Tundra Wilderness Tour when you're at Denali, and 2 breakfasts, and up to $50 per stateroom when you are on the ship. And those will be from May through September. And if you're looking for a little bit longer tour, this is another option, Tour 29 South with signature. And it would be 2 nights at Denali, 1 night at Mckinley, 1 night Anchorage. And it would also have the amenities, the same as the other, the Music of Denali Dinner Theater, the Tundra Tour Wilderness Upgrade at Denali, 2 breakfasts, and $50 onboard credit when you are on the land. So those are the 2 best values on the land and cruise side. And no worries, I know I'm giving you that quickly. The travel advisors at Playbill can send you these flyers, and if you'd like the dates, they have those too for you. Princess Plus, every one of the prices that the travel advisors at Playbill Travel will be quoting you will include Princess Plus. Now, Princess Plus is our all-inclusive beverage package. Which, what does that mean, right? That means it's the specialty coffees, it's the fountain soda, it's bottled water, smoothies, or whatever, smoothie, and alcoholic beverages. Up to 15 drinks a day. On the alcohol side, we don't count your coffees. And it also includes your gratuity on that beverage package. We also have unlimited Wi-Fi for you. And your crew incentive or crew gratuities are also included under Princess Plus. And there is no expiration date on that. When the travel advisors quote you the prices, that will be included. If you've served in the military, we would like to thank you. If you haven't sailed with us before, you would provide a copy of your DD-214 to your travel advisor at Playbill. It'd be the only time you'd have to show it to us. And at this time, it's a 7-night cruise, which would grant you $100 per person as our thank you. Or excuse me, $100 onboard credit for the person that served in the military. And the question I'm going to, because I don't have any, I'm going to just ask my own question. When's the best time to book? The best time to book is now for 2022, if you're considering. We had to cancel our season for 2020. We also had to cancel the majority of our season for 2021. We have got 10 sailings this year in 2021 that start July 25th. On 1 ship, round trip Seattle. So we are not offering the land package this year due to restrictions with the Canadian government. So when's the best time? We've got 2 years of demand that we are trying to fill 2022. So if you're thinking, if this is something you have been interested in and been thinking about, please call the travel advisor, set up an appointment. They are taking walk-ins. They would love to sit down and talk to you about Alaska. So thank you again for joining.
Thank you, Debbie. I hope those of you watching found Alaska as beautiful and intriguing as I did. If so, there are plenty of vacation options available for you and good pricing too. Ask your travel advisor to get you some information. Finally, please keep in mind that Playbill Travel is a full-service travel agency. Our travel advisors can help you plan a wide variety of customized and escorted vacations. Also, we're a subsidiary of Playbill, the theater magazine, and because of our strong affiliation with Broadway, we offer a series of Broadway cruises featuring performances each night by top Broadway stars. Ask your travel advisor for more information. Well, I hope you enjoyed our presentation. Please follow us for information on future presentations, and thank you and goodbye.